Let's see, what else? Let's do FAQs. So I'm gonna choose the open version of the FAQs because it has already all the elements and I just need to hide some options. So again, left click or right click, create component, FAQ, create. Now we have one FAQ. We need to check that this is right. Usually the first layer of the component is a fixed width because then you can set it to adapt in the main design. Now you have a stack here which contains your text, which is perfect. And then the text, it needs to be filled. So if the question is too long, it can actually extend. And then this one also fill so it doesn't break. Da 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 da. And then you don't have any padding here. We can set this to fill. No need to have it as a max width 80 because the main stack is already 80. Okay, now what happens here? This text needs to have a variant, right? Ideally, we have a style that we have created for this. It's usually a heading 3, so an H3. So let's say I'm gonna create it now, new cell, heading 3. So it's just gonna take those characteristics and that's just always going to be heading 3. And then this one is going to be body. Okay, this is different. So I'm just gonna create a new style called body 2. Okay, fine. Now we need to create a variable so we can change this from the outside. We create this is the title, and then again, content, create variable, plain text. This is text or the answer for the FAQ, right? Now we create, this is the open version, so I'm just gonna change the name. Give me a second. So now we change the name to open. We create a second variant called closed, right? Because those are the two states that we're gonna need. We're gonna need open and we're gonna need closed. What's gonna happen in closed? Well, the content or the answer of the question is gonna be hidden. So we come here to the right-hand side and we just hide it. We make it non-visible. That's it. Easy peasy. What else needs to happen in closed? The icon. The icon needs to change the direction, yes. Okay, so here we have it. And now we rotate it here. I think it's 135. No, 180. Yeah, 180. We rotate it 180 and that's it. We don't need any hover states on this because with the icon we already know that it closes and opens. We might need it to not have a minimum height but change according to the text that we have in there. And this is interesting. This means that we don't have a padding on the top and bottom. So we're gonna add a padding here. Let's say it's going to be 36 maybe. Yeah, 36 is fine. And that's it, pretty much. So we have an open state and a closed state. Now we go back home and so now I'm just gonna remove these blocks because we don't need them anymore. That's why it's important to design first in Framer, in Figma. Actually, you can design in Framer too. There's a section for designing, but we can see that another time. Because if you already designed it, you already know and have the strategy of what is it that you need to create first, and you don't have to create every block in Framer when you're actually building it. So you just create one and just copy paste, copy paste, copy paste. Now, we copy pasted all of these. They look exactly the same. let's just leave the first one open, and the other ones, I'm just going to select them and choose the variant that is closed. Exactly, simple as that, and that's it. Now here from the outside, I can change the text. I can change the text for each one, for each, not only the questions, but also the answers, even though I don't see them. They're gonna be there. So now my question is, how do we do it so that when I click on the second question, it opens? We have to sort of connect it somehow, right? So let me think. I think it would be, so we have two options. If you want the functionality of this FAQ section to be like, if you click the second one, the first one automatically closes. And if you click the first one again, it just closes and leaves everything closed, for example. And if you open this one, then that one opens, but the rest ones are closed. We need to create a component with all of these ones. A second component. It's like an inception of components. If you don't care, and if you're fine with having them all open at the same time, if you click all of them. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it depends. It depends on what the strategy is for the website. Sometimes you have 25 FAQs, and having them all open is going to be way too much for the website. So I what usually do is create the inception component. So I just select all of these. I add a stack. I'm adding a new stack, and that stack is going to be FAQ, I don't know, FAQ group, for example. And then I just choose FAQ group and create a new component. Mm-hmm. So now what happens? I create a second variant, and this one is going to open the second one, and it's going to close the first one. And then I create a third variant, and this one is going to open. Actually, I like to do this. I like to create four, one, two, three, we have five. Okay. I just have to everything, and I select this is five, this is four, this is three, and I come here, variant, and I choose the open one. And then I just close these ones that need to be closed. I wanted to show you how. So whatever you do in the primary is going to trickle down to the other ones, right? Like you very well mentioned before. So if I click on the first one, you have this little lightning bolt here on the right hand side. If I click on that, I can add an interaction. You see that it just connects to itself, or connects to this one, or connects to that one. Since it's this the first one, I'm just going to connect it to itself. On click, zero delay, it just goes back to this one. If I select the same one here, it's automatically linked to this one because it added the connection automatically because I made the change on the primary one. I'm going to do the same with the second one. I'm just going to connect it with number 2. The third one, I'm going to connect it with number 3, 4, with number 4. Give me just a second. ¿Listo? Vale, ok, gracias. And number 5, I'm going to connect it with number 5, right? So if I click here on number 4, it's connected to itself, so you don't see anything. If I see here, it's connected to this one, right? So how does this play? If I come to the primary one, I hit play and I can test it out. If I click here, it opens this one. If I click here, if I click here, and if I click here. You see how that changes? And it's super fast, it's super easy. And it's very useful, for example, when you want to create filters for the blog based on categories. You can filter here and just select and just have buttons here that act as a radio button. And then it feels like you're selecting the whole thing, but you're making this sort of step-by-step process. Okay? Okay, cool.